Guys, good morning and happy Monday to you. Welcome into the stream, and I'm very excited to start the week off on the right foot, placing some bets, hitting up some different strategies, making some money as we start to roll into December, and Christmas is on its way, guys. Very excited about that. Hopefully, you guys had a fantastic weekend betting. We had a lot going on over this past weekend, and it's a little bit slower to start the week. We have the NBA Cup tournament going on. So really from now through Thursday, only a handful of games in the NBA until we get back to this upcoming weekend where things will start to ramp up a bit more. But we still have games going on nonetheless. 3 today. We have NHL going on with college hoops. We take a bit of a break this weekend for college football outside of Army and Navy. And then obviously, the NFL. We have a Monday Night Football game tonight with the Eagles and the Chargers. Let's kind of jump into it with a little DFS and see what we got cooking. That's right. Well, wakey, man. And Irish, what's going on, man? And yeah, Chi-Town, that's happened to me before. Chi-Town said bet 61 units and won only about $9. Good morning to you, Chi-Town. Hopefully, you're having a strong start to your morning. Definitely had those days in the past where you wager a lot of bets, a lot of money that's being invested, and then it ends up being, a slightly positive or slightly negative, basically a nothing kind of day. That's how it was for us yesterday with Dub Club. It was a break-even kind of day. So let me go ahead and refresh this over on the Positive EV tool. For the next couple of streams, guys, probably for the rest of this week, we'll continue to use the Positive EV tool to see if it provides more opportunities than the Fantasy Optimizer. Ramo, what's going on? So I have a lot of the popular DFS books selected, guys. It's a very simple setup, right? We're going to go over here and use Pinnacle in worst case as our method of DVIG. All just player props, and then we're going to have, Better, Dabble, PrizePicks, Underdog, DraftKings, Pick 6 selected. Looks like we have 4 options at the moment. Over here on Better, we do have a couple discounted slips with A.J. Brown and Trey Murphy. So we'll take a look at Kamani Vidal. Still kind of on the fence with Hampton. I'm going to double check my phone just to see what's the latest, because I know that he was earlier this week, it looked like he was trending to play. And then it looks like at the moment, it says he's still questionable for Monday. So even though he logged a full practice on Friday, not sure what's going to happen. So we could take Vidal on his under, but this is a really big play here with Vidal, because if Vidal is the starter, I mean, the Eagles have a very stout defense, but there is no Jalen Carter playing in this game. So, Vidal, if he's the starter, then this under is going to be cooked. So this is kind of one where I probably, even though it's EV at the moment, this all just hinges on whether Hampton plays or not, or if Hampton plays and there's a timeshare. A lot going on with this play outside of just a positive EV edge. Jalen Hurts on his passing completions, I'm fine with this. So if I take Trey Murphy or A.J. Brown, I could take either one. A.J., it's his over on receiving yards. Pair this with Hurts and his passing completions. This is going to be positively correlated. So let's take the over 17.5 on Hurts. And then looking at DiVincenzo over on assists. This has a very minimal edge, but at the moment, I'm still okay with taking small edge plays and throwing them together. So DiVincenzo over on his assists. All right, 2 overs, and then the A.J. Brown discount. This is, so yeah, they do put a slight nerf on this with better guys. So if I take the A.J. Brown discount and remove it and then just add Trey Murphy, that changes the payout to 6x. So unfortunately, Better did recognize that there was positive correlation between Hurts and Brown. So we'll just take the Trey Murphy discount instead. And this is going to be a 3-pick entry, no insurance, a perfect play. And I'll drop this in here. Yeah, Irish, it's I have him on my team, but I did not play him this week. There's the 3-pick entry there, guys, on Better. We'll see if we'll refresh the page to see if we can see anything else here. Doesn't look like it. Obviously, you guys can add Rudy Gobert over on his points if you wanted to. But this Vidal play, guys, this is just kind of going a step beyond and understanding the situation in the backfield with the Chargers and if Hampton plays or not. Now, there is a chance that Hampton doesn't play and Vidal still doesn't hit his over. But, there's a lot of moving pieces with this Chargers offense. We got Herbert coming back from this surgery that he had a week ago, which is insane. So we'll have to see over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull up the optimizer. We'll go over the sharp money tool as well, because I'll take a look for the DFS books to see, is there anything interesting to see? Crypto.com, guys, popping up as a logo. Lily Pass, yeah. Appreciate you saying that over there. Appreciate the heads up. Yeah, that's been, for those of you that don't know, that's something that when OddsJam offered their sharp money tool, a direct competitor offered it for free. But obviously I appreciate Lily I haven't used it, but appreciate you letting me know kind of what's the pros and the cons. Because I know the biggest con with OddsJam in terms of this tool is obviously the price. But thanks, Lily. Appreciate that. Let me just clear out the odds here, I guess. And that's pretty much it. We'll get rid of main markets for a second. Okay, so PrizePicks, Jalen Hurts. Yeah, SEC. I mean, it's not. I'm not sure if it's available to me. I have to check that. But I know that Chi-Town was mentioning how it's available. Chi-Town, correct me if I'm wrong. You're in Missouri. Or Illinois. I can't remember which. I thought you might be in Missouri, but yeah, it's definitely a very good thing to see that. I don't mind, prediction markets just offers another opportunity for, hopefully allows you to create your own odds, but allows you guys to just kind of create your own plays. PrizePicks. I'm not seeing enough to make a 3-pick entry on PrizePicks. Let me go over here. Let's Dabble. You can play this on Dabble with Hurts over on his rushing attempts. And then for Dabble users, you could take this Keldon Johnson under on his rebounds. But then we're going to have to go into the optimizer to kind of fill out the rest of the slip. So since we're on a Dabble kick right now at the moment, just going through this. This could be tough out in the streets. You could do the Hurts on his passing completions. You could play that. You can't play his passing completions and his rushing attempts. So you can only pick one. I'd rather take probably his passing completions. Then his rushing attempt shows up here. Yeah. This is what I was afraid of. We talked about this Vidal play at length, so we'll move on from that. Yeah. There's not much out here to finish even to finish this 3-pick slip on Dabble. Keldon Johnson under on rebounds. You could take Hurts either over on his passing completions or over on rushing attempts. Both are really good to Pinnacle. But then I don't have much else for a third leg to finish off this slip for anyone that uses Dabble. Yeah. So maybe I'm even looking at FanDuel's odds here. It's not great. The under 3, maybe, kind of, for Jose Alvarado. Under 3 assists is... They have Hampton's line out here. We'll have to see. I was just taking a look at Yahoo Fantasy right now, guys, just to see their most up-to-date news on Hampton. It hasn't really changed much. So Siakam over on assists is, again, you're getting much better prices at DraftKings and MGM and Caesars. Not really. Really scratching and clawing here to try to grab this last leg. Not even on Gillespie. No. Yeah, honestly, I don't have much to finish this off for my Dabble folks. For PrizePicks, we'll go back over here and look at PrizePicks again. And as you guys know in the stream, I've said this a million times. I don't force a slip just to make one. right? That's not my thing. I'm not looking to throw my money on a slip if the slip isn't very good. And obviously, I'll be back on streaming tonight, guys, and we'll take a look maybe later in the stream to see if we can find anything. But for PrizePicks and for Dabble right now, it's just not very good, not at all. Okay, we'll kind of move on to the sharp money tool to see if we refresh this. What else do we get? Probably not much. Again, guys, early in the morning, you're not going to see a ton of we're back on tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern. Things are moving very quickly. There's just a lot of more activity, more money moving in the markets. In the mornings, not so much. And again, I prefer not to play DFS slips this early in the morning on player props. I'm more of a mainline market kind of guy. But for those of you that are just, that only have access to DFS, want to try to find some different options for you. Let's take a look at the EV tool just to see with Underdog. We talked about Kamani Vidal, so we're going to move on from that play. The sharp money tool would be Rasmus Dahlin. This is, depending on what kind of slip you're playing. If it's a 6-pick slip, it's 12 cents off the Pinnacle. If it's a 3-pick slip, it's only 6 cents off. So this play's okay, but somebody only wants this for about $760 at minus 116. So it's not even that crazy of a price. Royce O'Neal, this is a decent play to bookmaker. It's kind of not really much of an edge, no edge at all to FanDuel. But this is the over 2.5 assists. So this play is just kind of middle of the road. Both this Dahlin and this O'Neal play is kind of just middle of the pack, middle of the road. It's not really I'm not rushing over to Underdog to make this slip. Keldon Johnson, slightly better. We're getting a little bit of a more of an edge here compared to bookmaker, but not a ton here, guys. That's what I would say. Ken, what's going on, man? No doubt about that. Aaron, why is it low? It's because of the Cup, the NBA Cup. So the semifinals, so the NBA kind of stops for this Cup thing, so we have to watch the Cup. So there's only a couple games, 2 or 3 games the whole week. I think Thursday there might be 4. Let me double check the schedule here. Thursday there's 4 games. And then Friday, we finally get back to a 6-game slate. The weekend is Saturday's the semifinals. And then next week on a Tuesday, there's 1 game. So once we get past next Tuesday, then we get back to a lot of games. But this week, it's a little bit tougher out there, guys. 3 games today, 2 games tomorrow, 2 games on Wednesday. So there's not that much going on. Now, for college hoops, I got to take a look at it as well for college hoops to see what's up. So we're going to move on from this, guys. In terms of DFS, we'll come back to take a look at this. I'll go hop over to pick 6. I'll pull up and just see what's what. We did share a better slip, guys. So, for college hoops today, there's literally 7 total games, which is not much. But Tuesday's an okay slate. And then Wednesday's kind of similar. So in terms of top 25 matchups this week for college hoops, Tuesday's going to be okay. We don't have any big matchups, but this past weekend we had some really good ones. Really, really good ones. So on pick 6. Yeah, a little tougher. Anthony Edwards, not really. Not even on Anthony Edwards. There's just not much. And this might kind of be the theme, guys, for today and tomorrow and Wednesday. Thursday with 4 games, that's a little better. But let's take a look at Fliff. Let's try 2 or 3 minimum data points. No Pinnacle odds here. I was already looking at this player prop. Pinnacle doesn't. In some cases, some players they've released player prop odds. For others, they haven't. This play here on the Pacers money line for today, it's only 1 cent off, so I wouldn't grab that. This isn't that good of a play. What else haven't we taken a look at? We'll just quickly peruse through parlay play. Yeah, I like this play on Matthews. That looks good. But then we got to have other stuff to pair it with. Okay. Yeah, not much there. If we go over and look at owner's box. So, like, this is kind of how you know, guys, with the optimizer, how it's a little tough. Like, 6-pick entries with minus 118 odds. That's the best slip that you can make on owner's box. And you can see the board right here is already, there's not even a green play. There's no pinnacle odds. That's the first thing that I look for. And so there's only one play right now that has pinnacles odds on it. And like we talked about, this Anthony Edwards play. So, excuse me there, guys. Obviously, might have rolled out of bed like 15, 20 minutes ago. So still waking up myself. Apologies there, but just not much in general. Let's take a look at some mainline markets on the sharp money tool. Let's see if we have anything there. But let's see. Kind of a recap weekend on Dub Club. Yesterday was a nothing burger, literally like a break-even day. Saturday, we had a really big day. We brought in 8 units, which Thursday and Friday was not great at all. So it's nice to see that on Saturday. We brought back quite a bit. But yesterday was pretty blah in terms of just what we had won and what we had lost. Obviously, I'm in an incredible mood because my Steelers get the job done against the Ravens. So finally see them play a better game of football. Let's go to day range main markets. All right, we only have 6 results. What do we got? Top play at the moment is Eagles minus 2.5. You can see Pinnacle's taking $80,000. So in terms of the sharp money tool, and when I see someone has $1,600 and someone has $1,700 of liquidity posted, that is absolutely nothing. That's a drop in the bucket compared to what Pinnacle's taking. So Pinnacle's odds are at minus 101 on the Eagles. So this is how I read the sharp money tool. Remember, guys, the sharp money tool is reading Novig and ProfitX, 2 of the most popular exchanges in America, where you can literally wager whatever your heart desires. And so on this particular play, with Pinnacle taking $80,000, the fact that 2 different bettors have a combined almost $4,000 posted here doesn't really affect my decision at all, because the price that they want this at is at plus 101 minus or plus 100, and this is 2 cents or 1 cent off the Pinnacle's price, and Pinnacle is taking, like, I don't know. My math isn't really the best right now, but they're taking 21.5 times the amount that these people want. So I'm not paying attention to this as a sharp money play at all, and it's not a very good price to Pinnacle, so I just move on from it, right? Now, this is a good number to have. Minus 2.5 typically can be a good number. I'm very interested, guys. Been seeing this logo, Crypto.com, obviously one of the more popular crypto sites. Looks like maybe they're trying to get into the trade predictions market. I haven't even went over there to see what they have popping right now at the moment. So if I come up to Crypto.com, I'm just kind of curious. Markets. So here we go. Let's take a look at this. Markets, and they got sports. It's probably just main lines. They have football. They have basketball. We have any player props? Predict now. Let's see what we got. Yeah, well, Bo, I would say I know that the team is working on some tools that haven't had any love in a long time, and the parlay tools one. I don't have an update, though, on when it's going to be when in the pecking order they are working on it, or if anything. So one thing I'll definitely mention to you, Wilbo, is like how I build my parlays is I will just come over here to the EV tool, and then I will click add to parlay. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, you know, I'm sorry. I thought you meant the other tool. Yeah, this in particular, I don't know when. I don't know when they're fixing this, because this has been annoying to me as well. I'll double check with them today, and I'll have an answer for you if you're on the stream tonight. If that's too late for you, then I'll have an answer for you tomorrow when we stream again. So appreciate that, SEC. So where I live, SEC, just so you know, I don't have access to that with PrizePicks and Underdog. I only have access to their to the player props and the fantasy. So appreciate you letting me know about that. But I don't have. Let me double check this. Yeah, I don't have access to be able to bet money lines on, the Sabres. So appreciate you letting me know about that. So for those of you that live in states where you can do so on Underdog and PrizePicks, you can take a look at it. But over here, guys, I was just kind of curious to find out. This is it just for football. It's just main markets. It's just money lines. Right now, this is how it starts, but maybe we will get into more player props for crypto.com. Interesting. I don't know. It depends. I'm still okay with it. We have a lot of options out here in Arizona, so I'm more than happy. What we have, it would be nice to have it, but that's okay. Typically, in general, I'm not betting too many money line plays unless these books are way off. But this is just nice to see that we have this option out here, guys. Obviously, with the trade predictions market now, every friggin' crypto company wants to get their hands in this. The reason why in Arizona, why we don't see no vig, Profit X back is because they're still under the sweepstakes model license. And so if they get approval for the CFTC with trade predictions, then that will change. Really, it's the same thing, right? We're all betting, but there's no difference. But there it is. That's just kind of how it works. So for this play, it looks like everything just left. Pennsylvania for college hoops. This is -5.5. This is a little bit further off to bookmaker, which is what we like to see. It's only like 5 cents off to PA. Honestly, it's pretty quiet right now, which is my biggest fear this morning. Just biggest fear because the NBA really dictates what we're going to see. But we're going to tee this up, guys, for mainline markets. It might be a shorter stream, might be a Q&A type of stream. That's okay. Appreciate you guys, though, that are here and hanging out with me. And I do apologize about yesterday's stream. I had a little bit too much fun on Saturday night. I try to make sure I don't have too much fun on the weekend, so I'm able to stream in the morning because NFL Sundays don't come around too often. So it's my fault there on that one. I do apologize that we weren't able to get one in yesterday. I guess we'll select them all. Let's go sports books, everything, and let's dial this in a little bit. Let's go let's say 175 to a +140. Date range, let's keep it for today. Let's see what we have at the moment. Okay, so we talked about this Pennsylvania Lafayette play. I don't think there's enough liquidity on Pennsylvania -5.5 for me to be really scared of betting into this Lafayette play. Obviously, bookmaker circa bet online, they have this at like a -110. So if we click into Pinnacle here, we could see some line movement. And what you could see is that less than an hour ago, Pinnacle made a really big movement. They went from a +113 to a -122. So this is a massive movement from Pinnacle on Lafayette +5.5. So now that we've seen that movement, because that movement really tells me something, yeah, I would be happy to bet this over at no vig. Chi-Town, how can you quickly convert decimal odds to American odds? You just come over here to calculators, Chi-Town. You go to an odds converter calculator, and then you type in your American odds, and it tells you right there. Or you type in your decimal odds, and it tells you what it is. So you just go to calculators, and all these calculators are free on OddsJam, guys. Go to an odds converter calculator. It tells you in a few seconds. So whatever your American odds range is, fraction, decimal, wherever you live, whatever odds range that you use, these are the three most popular, guys. Depending on where you are at, you're comfortable with fractional or maybe decimal a little bit more. Obviously, I'm one of those Yanks that lives across in the States, so I use American odds. But you can find out wherever you need to with odds converter. We'll both just use the decimal odds. Man, yeah, decimal odds is a new way. It's a different way for me. But anyways, you can use decimal odds. So you can definitely do that. For those of you that want to change that, right, you should be able to come over here to profile. And it might be general settings. I can't remember. It's been a minute, guys. I haven't had to change. I've never really had to change my odds. But I can't quite remember where exactly. And it's not bankroll settings. It's somewhere. It's somewhere. Oh, here it is. American odds. Bingo. You go decimal, fractional, probability. You do it right here. That's just us good old Americans that don't really want to change anything. But there you go. That's how you do it, Chi-Town. Okay, mainline markets we're just looking at right here, guys. Looks like this is a play possibly between Circa and Caesars. Circa is a sharp book, guys, but I find myself betting against them on not on everything, but every now and then I will. But I'm still going to take a look at what's what. Right now, this is a very low liquidity here, guys. We're talking about two small schools. Grambling plays in the SWAC. Looks like we just got better odds over here on Bet Anything and Bet Amapola. Sometimes, guys, we get some new books that arrive for Odds Jam. I believe this is a book that's maybe in Nevada. I can't remember. I did take a look at them this past weekend. But let's look at the movement here. Any movement? No. So then if you see a chart that looks like this, which is basically nothing, then this is just telling you that, this is Pinnacle's opinion when they open the line. This is bookmakers, and this is Circa's. So there's not much to glean from. If we were taking a look at some newer sports books, guys, this Bet Amapola. I had a hard time looking and pulling up their sports book. There's some kind of hotel casino in Costa Rica. So that means they're offshore. But I was having a hard time finding their odds. They got a cashier. They got a casino here. If I go to their casino, it goes sports book. But then I don't know. I think it's just highlighting. It might be an app on the phone. Might have to download the app. I'm assuming, guys, if it's offshore, it's available to us. Okay. Looks like they're maybe copying the odds here of Bet Anything, which I do use Bet Anything. It used to be Bet Any Sports. But that's interesting. Okay. Now, again, guys, this is an edge that I would not go crazy on, right? Understanding these different sports and then how much money is in a play is different, right? So if you see a 2.37% edge on the Eagles Chargers on their spread tonight, as we saw earlier on the stream, Pinnacle's taking $80,000 on that market. On this market, Pinnacle's taking $250. So if you're being told by OddsJam to bet a 2.37% edge on this play, and then maybe there's a 1% edge on the Eagles spread, in my opinion, those are two vastly different edges, because one edge, you can bet $80,000. That's what the sharp books are taking. In this edge, there's $250. So that's why when I'm betting mainline markets, I'm willing to go down to 1.5 or 1% plays, because I know that that's where sometimes the sharp books are taking a ton of money on these plays, and that gives me more confidence to bet a higher amount, right? So that's always the conundrum here with the tools on OddsJam with the main markets, is when you come down here to these 1% plays, if you're able to find, like a play here with the Suns and the Timberwolves, like Pinnacle's taking $3,000 here, right? Or the Pelicans and the Spurs, they're taking $3K. To me, there's more confidence in the sports books, and this is actually a better, truer representation of an edge compared to what we were just looking at with Grambling and Southern Miss. There's only $250 here. So I don't believe that this edge is actually like set in stone, a really solid edge. It's kind of a whimsy edge, if you will. So, but if I come down here and look at this Spurs game and I'm like, wherever we were at earlier, right here, apologies, right here, right, this 1.2% edge. This is definitely a more firm edge because Pinnacle's taking $3,000. So I want to bet maybe a little bit more because I just have more confidence that this is more of a concrete edge from the books. In general, guys, this early in the morning on the NBA, betting mainline markets, spreads, and totals, you can beat Canby fairly easily in terms of getting a very good price. This is 1 cent off on Bet Rivers compared to Ballybet. That doesn't scare me. You can go bet these plays. But in general, today's slate of games is fairly low. Speaking of Crypto.com, Southern versus Texas. Texas is a big school. Southern isn't. So again, Pinnacle's taking $250. Crypto.com, or you can get this at FanDuel. Interesting to see. So honestly, guys, Crypto.com, one of the big reasons why there's such popularity with Kalshi, at least in America, is because it's available in all 50 states. So you can use this anywhere. So Crypto.com is going to be the same. So for those of you that live in a state like a Florida, check out crypto.com. That might provide you another book with other opportunities. And while right now they're just mainline bets, still could be worth it. Definitely could be worth it. Vin, you don't. You can't. You can't use it. When I moved back here in April, you were able to for about a month. And to be fair, when No Vig and ProfitX first became revealed and they first came out, you could use them in Arizona. You were able to use the exchanges in Arizona for well over a year, maybe a year and a half. Because all last year when I was living in Pennsylvania, you could use the exchanges here in Arizona. It's not only until recently they cracked down within the last 6 months. So you can't use them. Now there is an exchange out here. There's two exchanges. One that's licensed called Sport Trade. So Sport Trade got a license from Arizona. You can use them. Not many people do. And then the other popular one that I use the most is 4CX. 4CX is awesome. They're not as popular. It's not as popular as ProfitX and NoVig, but you can use them. And you can use 4CX in quite a few other states. So for those of you out there, speaking of because we're just kind of talking about main books at the moment, it's a little dry out there, guys. I'm not gonna lie. A little dry. This is their main site that I use. Did they mention where they're offering at though? Didn't say it. I was just trying to find out. I was trying to see where I could find where they were legal at, but this is definitely a book, guys, that I like to use quite a bit. Here we go. This is very small. Current states, there's 40. 40 states right now that they're legal in. If it's in white, then it's good. So you can't use it in Alabama, Colorado, Connecticut, or Delaware. You can use it in Pennsylvania, which is great. There's a lot of states. Michigan, unfortunately, you can't. Michigan's tough when it comes to that. Or Ohio. So the big states I'd say are Tennessee, Ohio, Michigan, and Colorado. Those are the really big states. But outside of that, guys, there's quite a few states that you can use 4CX. Highly advised to check them out. I use them all the time. And especially with NBA player props, they offer points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers, double-doubles, PRA, which is pretty good. And this is actually a book. It's not like Bet Openly. Bet Openly, you can't create your own price. Like on Russell Westbrook on his assist, I can literally create whatever price that I want. And then tell people, I want to bet $100. So I'm going to offer $800 here on Russ. So you can create whatever pricing that you want on this play. So that's kind of the cool thing here with 4CX, guys. Definitely check them out. Yeah, I agree with that, Chi-Town. Definitely been gold. Good to hear that. Vin asks, where do you think the state of grinding out small edge plus EV betting with all the books that have been banning the new tax laws? So, obviously, this is just my 2 cents. I appreciate you asking, Vin. Yeah, the tax law is not great. Not great at all. So, here's what I would say is the realistic outcome. So here's what I would say what I believe most people will do. Most people will just continue to keep betting because I doubt in general that many people report their actual taxes for gambling. I doubt that they even do. When you go to a casino and you go play, you go with your wife or your girlfriend, you go play a couple hands, and we'll keep going through the, I'll bring this back over, guys, the EV tool. We'll keep searching for some plays. I'll pull up some different props and stuff like that. Let's look for later this week. If you go and play some slots for 30 minutes and then a couple hands of blackjack and roulette, and then you walk out of the casino, you're supposed to report all of that activity. You're supposed to report that P&L there, what happened. Most people don't. Most people, I would say, probably don't report this, and that's not the correct way. You should be reporting everything and anything. Grinding out small edges, basically puts an end to sports betting. If you are reporting your taxes and you're reporting everything correctly, you are not, it's not really worth it. It kills edge betting, right? If you're a professional, it definitely kills it. Now, right, if you don't report your taxes, then you're getting the risk of being audited. But you can also do the numbers on if you're making less than X amount of dollars, what's the percentage of you getting audited? So my firm belief is that very few people actually report their sports betting activity to the government that are making under $250,000 a year. But if you are doing all those steps correctly and you are reporting your taxes like you should be, then you will be in a spot where this isn't worth it at all if the laws don't change. So that's the tough part. The real tough part with this taxes, and here's the really tough part. That doesn't it's been talked about, but forget sports betting. This isn't just sports betting. For those I hope everyone in here understands this. This is if grandma goes to the slot machine in January at the casino and hits for 30 grand. Or grandma hits for 50 grand. Grandma goes to the casino, let's say, or your grandpa goes to the casino 4 times a week. And in January, on January 11th, they hit for 50 grand. They automatically now are going to be put in a different probably tax bracket based off of what they were making. Just an assumption, but most likely. And then let's say they continue to go back to the casino 4 times a week for throughout the whole year. And then they slowly give most of that money back, and they only end up maybe $5,000 after the year ends. They're going to be paying taxes in a different tax bracket. They're going to be paying taxes on a large win that they didn't actually end up winning that much because they ended up giving it back to the casino throughout the rest of the year. You go to bingo and you hit for big bucks on bingo. Anything that's related to making money off of lottery ticket, anything at all. This isn't just sports betting. This is just anything. I know you just asked about edge betting, but this is everything. So it really provides a huge damper on just everything. Or, it's just going to push people to move more towards offshore sports books like the old days. So we'll have to see. It's not great. But appreciate you asking, man. But if you're doing everything correctly, then yes, grinding out 1.5%, 2% edge plays starting next month, it's not going to be a viable thing. Because people are going to be getting hit with some very large unexpected tax bills. So that's the truth. That's the truth. But I'm still going to be going about it and still talking about it and still betting. But, there is a point where you have to definitely work out the math. This Ravens play, guys, I know it's Monday morning, but this is how you can beat the sports books. This is an ARB to pinnacle over on DraftKings. This under between the Ravens and the Bengals. So definitely there. Yeah, Vin, I appreciate you asking that question. It's honestly a brutal bill, the way that it's constructed. And the funniest thing is it was slipped in last minute that apparently, take this with a grain of salt. A lot of senators were I didn't even know that was even in the bill. It's oh, yeah, okay, well, all right, man. Maybe you didn't, but maybe you did. But it's brutal. It's brutal for the gaming industry. Any gaming industry, period. If people become alert to it. UT asks, how do you filter what you take on for TDs on the sharp money tool? So I will say too that the touchdown market is something that I'm not really betting much on the sharp money tool at all. I still stick to the plus EV tool. And also for any of my Dub Club users that are interested, I still stick to the positive EV tool. So the play that I gave out yesterday on Breece Hall, that was a EV edge play from here that I saw that I really, really liked. That looked really good. But for the sharp money tool, it's going to be something in terms of what's Pinnacle's limit for that market. And then if it's a player prop, doesn't matter what player prop. If it's a player prop, which anytime TDs are, then you want to take at least a 5x multiplier, or if not higher. So if Pinnacle's taking $1,000 yesterday on Breece Hall, anytime touchdown, and you want to see then at least $5,000 to $6,000 of liquidity posted over there before you go ahead and take that play. That's what you really want to go after, and that would be something that I would be interested in. And if someone has $30,000 posted of liquidity and Pinnacle's taking $1,000, the higher the liquidity posted on that market for that play from that one, and I'm looking for one individual bettor. I don't want to see 7 people all have different amounts. I prefer to see one person that has a lump sum. That gives me more confidence in taking that play on the sharp money tool. But definitely a good question. You have to read between the tea leaves with these exchanges, because there are some plays that are dangled out there, and we'll go through an example of people that are just trying to drop really positive EV prices down. Think of it like fishing. They're just kind of throwing their bobber out there, their reel out there, and letting their bobber sit. Then it's a really, really good price for them if they get their order filled. And we'll talk about that here in just a second. So a couple more unders that you guys can grab. Onyx. I don't mind this on the Bills and the Patriots. Again, guys, if you're looking at some of these plays, we are in that time of the season where I would go over, and I'm just going to type in right now, Foxborough, Massachusetts weather forecast. And I'm just curious to see what's up. So currently at the moment, because this game is going to be played in Foxborough, they're looking at 34-degree temps, possibly snow. Obviously, we saw, by the way, awesome to see a snow game yesterday in Buffalo between the Bengals and the Bills. That was insane. So it's going to be possibly snow. I never mind betting the unders, guys, and like this. Now, again, in yesterday's game, there was 1 billion points put up. But to be fair, the Patriots defense is a lot better than the Bengals defense. The Bengals defense is really, really bad. The worst in football. So I'm going to go over to Onyx, okay? And I'm going to be happy to place this bet over at Onyx. When we open this play up, to find a 3% edge play, guys, on the NFL, you're normally not going to see something like that. Yeah, you too. And obviously, I mean, like on a play like that with Rodgers, you're just not going to see much liquidity posted for that, because obviously, I'm sure you understand this. The person that offered that Rodgers play to you, they had to put up a shitload of money. $4,000 or $400? My math's off. It's early in the morning. Forgive me. They have to put up a lot of money in order just for you to be able to get $10 down. So that's why you don't really ever see like $1,000 posted for Rodgers anytime touchdown at plus 4,000, because someone has to put up like 40 grand, right, on that play. And some people just don't want to have to take that kind of risk. So over here on Onyx, guys, shit, they just moved their odds. Son of a gun. Hopefully you guys were able to get that, because it's locked right now. Yeah, Vin, that's not something I'm going to discuss here, but appreciate Irish or anyone that wants to talk about that. From Greece, man, dude, what's going on, Wood, dude? Appreciate that. Bonjour. What's up? So glad you're able to tune in. So let's go in the sharp money tool for a quick second. I don't know if there's any plays. We might have to pull. Yeah, here we go. Ooh, here we are. Look at this play. Red Wings Canucks over 6.5. This is a good price to Pinnacle. It's 11 cents off. Can be, guys. Take the total on the over here with the Wings and the Canucks. I like that. So let's talk about this for a quick second. Can I find a play? Where can I find a play? Okay, here's a great example. Now I might have to zoom in on this. Bear with me, guys. My screen might look really weird here. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about this. So for YouTube, this is to answer kind of your question in general. What you are going to see all the time, guys, on the sharp money tools, we're looking at this Wings Canucks play, okay? And if you're looking at an anytime touchdown play, if I scroll down here, okay, you can see that the sharp books have this over-under. Pinnacle's at minus 104, minus 108, minus 104. Bookmakers, minus 106, minus 110, okay? So what you have to understand is that someone over here on Kalshi on this under posted minus 116 odds. They want you to bet the under. And they posted this, and they posted almost $20,000. But what you have to understand is that this individual, that means if they posted this play at minus 116 on the under, that means they want the opposite. They want plus 116 odds on the over 6.5. Well, guess what? Plus 116, who's offering plus 116 odds? Nobody. I mean, this is a really good play on Bet Rivers at plus 104. This person at Kalshi wants their order filled, and they want plus 116 odds. So what that means is that there is a very unlikely chance that this order ever gets filled on the under, because this person, if they get this over at plus 116, this is a very plus EV play for them. You see this all the time on Kalshi and Polymarket, where people are posting egregious prices, right? Egregious prices. It's like the guy that bids $1 on eBay for a brand new TV that's going for $1,000. And you're like, buddy, like, you're not going to get that TV. But who knows? If no one else bids on it, then they win it, right? So this happens all the time, where you'll see people post very crazy, insane liquidity amounts on the exchanges on one side or the other. But what you have to understand is if they get that order filled, the price that they're receiving is very positive EV, right? We can make the argument for this over and this under that this, I can tell you a price on either side that would be insanely plus EV. You give me plus 800 odds on the over or plus 800 odds on the under, I'm betting that play every single time because of the price. It's so egregiously good that you could talk anyone into this, right? That's why I can really talk you into any price. If I gave you plus 1 trillion odds on the under, would you bet the under? On the flip side, if I gave you plus 1 trillion odds on the over, would you bet the over? Right? Like, yeah, of course you would. It's all about price. So for anytime touchdown scores, if you see some crazy liquidity posted on certain books, just remember there could be that example. Now, it could also be you too that, you just saw like a lot of people posting crazy amounts. But you have to pay attention and think about, okay, this person is offering minus 104. That means they want plus 104, right? They want the other side. Oh, yeah. I mean, no doubt about that. The markets, I mean, that's what we love about Kalshi. Like, you can bet on literally anything. You can lose your, it just shows you the kind of the fabric of America, which is we just want to gamble, man. Gambling's been a part of America since its inception. It's what we love to do. We love to gamble. So it's what it's all about. Let me zoom in one more here. There we go. So, we're looking at this play here, like here on the Suns. Like, this isn't like a sharp money play to me in terms of like, there isn't enough money posted here for me to be like, yo, I have to go bet the Suns at plus 12.5. But what I do see is that this price on MGM is 18 cents off to Pinnacle. That's very, very good. So like, this is just a plus EV play. If we went over to the EV tool and I went over to NBA spreads, I would most likely see this play pop up. So if I come over to here and I go to just to the NBA, I'm just going to take a shot in the dark here that this is going to be an EV play. Hey, look, Suns plus 12.5, minus 145. This is a 1.4% edge, right? So you can kind of deduce in your mind when you do this enough, guys, that like 145 to 163, this is just EV. So this isn't a sharp money play, it's just a plus EV play. Now, it's not very high, but again, it's a mainline market, so this is a good play. Yeah, you too. If there's no Pinnacle limit, then, it depends on, like, this is where, like, so let me give you a different example. This is basically like you at a school field trip taking the tour with the tour guide. That's Pinnacle. If you start to take the tour on your own without Pinnacle, no tour guide, you're kind of now venturing into slightly uncharted waters. Because if you don't have a sharp sports book that's offering you any kind of odds, right? If you're looking at a play like on Conklin here, right? So like Bookmaker would be like my next best tour guide, right? Now this looks to be very good to Bookmaker. This is a very EV play here, right? Okay. And again, if you want, like, this is kind of, guys, I appreciate you too. You're asking, and I'm trying to help you out, bro, and give you as many breakdowns as I can. This is like things that I talk about in my coaching program. We go through all the various different tools and what specifically to look for, right? So what I'll tell you is this Conklin play, it's an EV play, okay? And if you're ever not really, and the hard part is with these markets is you don't really have the under, right? These are one-sided markets. But, I mean, this one's pretty simple to see that it's just like everybody's here and then one sports book's up here. So, you know, this would most likely be an EV play. But again, bro, like the other thing, like we have to remember, like, and I'm sure you understand, I'm sure you understand this, but for anyone that's new out here, even if we got this play at plus 2,800 odds, we have a 3.5% chance of hitting. Now, most likely the fair value on this play is maybe like, I don't know, 1,250. Like we have less than a 10% chance of hitting this play on Tyler Conklin. So don't lose your mind if this play loses, because this is a very low percentage chance that this play was even going to win in the first place, right? So, I mean, this is kind of how it is. If any of you guys appreciated that breakdown, subscribe to the channel, smash the likes button. But, you know, if you want to throw your no sweat bet down, you know, I'm always a big fan of that. Always love doing that. So, you know, when you see plays like this with no pinnacle, and somebody wants this at plus 2,700 odds and plus 2,400 odds, might not happen. This order might not get filled. But you could just kind of peruse what's the average odds, just like kind of deduce, hey, what's the average price for all these other books outside of MGM? Yeah, it's probably like plus 1,550. And it's like, well, yeah, this is like almost double that. So, yeah, it's a very EV play. Now, what I will say is this. I would not bet this if you're not limited on a BetMGM. I wouldn't bet this. If you are limited, you know, especially this time of the day, if you're placing this bet and you're not limited on BetMGM, this is a very easy way for you to get limited. Very, very easy. How many people are betting Tyler Conklin anytime touchdown at 9 in the morning, almost 10 in the morning? So, but if you are limited, then I would do what Irish says. Try that out. Dallas Goedert, over on his receptions. And guys, I do have a hard stop here in about 4 minutes. I do have a meeting. I have a meeting here in about 8 minutes that I have to attend. So, but here on this Goddard play, you know, this is just, this looks to be decent. It's 10 cents off to Pinnacle compared to where FanDuel is. I'll bet this on FanDuel because I'm limited on FanDuel. So I don't care. I don't care if FanDuel knows that I'm betting this right now because I'm already at 10% limits, right? So these are all things that you need to consider, and these are things that I discuss in my coaching program to try to help you out. That's what it's all about, right? So hopefully try to share as much as I can over here, guys, to show you how to kind of what I specifically look for. But let's look at receiving props here. So if you're not limited on again, guys, even if you aren't limited on FanDuel's like just such a nice book. Yeah, and look, it's at plus 104. What about the alt receptions? Is that any? It's probably the same. Yeah, 4 receptions, 102. So this is gone. This is not a plus 116 anymore, which stinks. That stinks for sure. Jalen Hurts, rushing yards over 29.5. 20 cents off to Pinnacle. I like this. I'm going to go over to FanDuel and grab this right now. Minus 114 odds. Okay. So for him to get, 30 rushing yards? Okay. This is going to be probably not his main line. Oh, it is his main line. There it is. Great. What's the max wager? 570. That's a pretty high amount. Okay. Couple tush pushes, couple here, couple there. I don't mind that. I don't mind that play at all. Okay. All right, guys. That's where I'm going to stop for this morning because I have to attend a meeting. But I will be back on tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern. I do expect that we will see a lot more plays up on the screen. Questions, DM me, email me. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Great questions, great discourse this morning. Love all yins. especially you OGs and DGens. Definitely love you guys. If nothing else, guys, have a fantastic start to your morning, afternoon, and I'll talk to you guys in, I don't know, maybe like 8, 10 hours or so. Take care.